Okay, I'm gonna make a video how to fix the automatic locks in a Subaru. This is a 2011 Subaru Legacy, but this will apply to most electric locks that have this issue. I know this car, this is the fourth lock I've done, so you can see that it'll lock, thankfully, but when you hit the unlock, it doesn't quite make it there. The little motor inside just doesn't have the juice. With the other locks, sometimes it actually wouldn't even lock, so you'd be stuck with thinking your car was locked, but it wouldn't be. So it's just not making it there, and this will lock. So in this video, I'm gonna take the door apart, take the motor out, fix it, and put it back together. The part, if you weren't going to fix it and just replace it, I think the part's over $300. This repair is going to cost under $1. So let me get the tools together and we'll get started. All right, the first step is to take the panel off. You got a screw here, and then clips inside along the way. So I'm going to get these screws unscrewed and then we'll work on the clips. To get the little cover off, I just use a small screwdriver, and then you see the screw in there. So pry that, and then let's get these bad boys out of the way. Alright, I'm going to get these out and then I'll bring the camera back. Alright, just two screws out of here. That's about it. On the front doors, you will have another screw. It's behind the mirror. We actually just had to pop that off. I don't think there's a screw, but you got to pop that off in order to get the whole panel up over the window. So, all right, hands free. Got my little chest rig here. I got this plastic pry tool. You can use a screwdriver, but you just got to watch out for your paint. So you got to get inside of the door here, find one of the clips, just move this along till you get to a clip. It's easiest to pull it from where the clip's at, and then just kind of pry it until you hear the clip pop. And once you get one, you get some more leverage on it. You just get your fingers under the door and pull the sucker. So this is glued into the door, but you just put it back in there when you're done. So now that the panel is loose, it's just being held on by the lip on the window. So you can just lift it up, but be careful. You got your wires. You got your wires behind the door there, so yeah, I'm gonna switch this camera around so you can see inside. All right, so inside the door you have the cables that are going to the door locks. And then you got all your electrical wires coming in. So to get this door out of the way, we have to get inside of the actual door here, but the panel's kind of in the way. So first thing I'm going to do is get these cables undone. You could just kind of pop it out of that groove, and then you'll get some more slack to it. And there's like a ball there that's held into the lock. So if you are able to, it's easier to do this with two hands, but you basically just pull the slack out of it and you could take the ball out of the groove. So you can get those free, and then this door, we might be able to just put it out of the way. Now we're gonna have to undo this electrical connector, but I'm gonna need both hands to do that. So give me a second. All right, I couldn't get that clip. I don't know what's up with the clip, but didn't want to come, so just prop that aside. They want to show these are the clips that hold the door panel on, so that's what you're pulling when you got the pry bar in there. But all right, now we got to get up inside the actual door. It's got like this glue here. It's kind of like forever sticky glue. You could just pull the plastic back, the weather protection, but especially if it's hot outside, it should come pretty easily. But you can also, I like to heat it up a little bit just so the plastic doesn't tear as much when you're pulling on this. So it's not gonna go back on perfect. It's not gonna be as factory pretty, but I'm trying to save some money here. So well, looks like this plastic's just gonna rip a little bit. Get this loose there. All right, the gloves are coming off. Sticking to them too much. Get the out of the way. Alright, we're getting in here. We don't have to take this whole thing off. We're just going to get a little access here. So what we're trying to see. Alright, got the plastic pulled back. I think that should be enough. And looking inside here, that this white plastic box is what we have to get out. Okay, it's got the motor in it. So first step is we gotta undo the bar just to loosen up. This is what the window runs on, but to give us some extra space, I'm going to loosen that up and then see if I can shimmy it out. So that's a, I think I fitted a 10 millimeter to this. So let's see. 10 millimeter should get you where you need to be. Got that out. So that kind of loosens this up. I think that's all we'll have to do. Maybe there's another one. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to undo this one here too. Get some more wiggle room. And this one, you're gonna want to not drop this. So I'm gonna go get a magnet to grab it. All right, so I got my magnet in there. Hopefully I don't drop it, but if I do, I'll use my little magnet to get it out of there. All right, she's loosey-goosey now. Oh, looks like she's gonna come on out. No, the magnet got her. All right. Thank you, my friend. All right, she's out. Put her over there. And now you can see we got a little bit of wiggle here. So now we should be able to get this out. We got a few screws over here to loosen up the motor box, whatever you want to call it. Right here, 3 of them. A little tight, but 3 screws. Look, I got some thread sealer on there. So let's see, are we loose? All right, we're loose. I think so. All right, let me figure this out and I'll bring the camera back. All right, so it was free to come out. It was just kind of snug from sitting in there for you know, its whole life. So I just kind of pulled on it a little bit and came loose. So you can see it's in here, it's coming out. And the other doors, I had a little bit of issue. I'm gonna get the cables out of the little slot. I had a little bit of issue finagling it around. But this one came out pretty easy. Okay, all right, so here we go. So we're gonna bring this to the bench and take it apart and figure out well, I'm pretty sure I know what's wrong with it, because it's the same thing with the other doors, but I'll show you all what's wrong with it, and we'll get it back into working order. All right, here's my bench, my work area. Not the finest on the face of the earth, but it'll do. We'll see. We got to take off, we got to get inside here. Basically, this is a couple of pieces, and that piece is not really one so you pull it out there, and then around here, you have to wrap it here. Yeah, this. Alright, so time to get this. Okay, so the first thing I did here was I just pulled this plastic piece off of this little nub here. And I worked my way around here, and I see there's another nub right there holding the plastic on, so I'm just pulling back against that, and then there it goes. Pulled this foam off a little bit there, and then the last part is just being held on over here. There it goes. It just kind of, there's a plastic nub right here that I just slid that back. So we have that off now, and we're getting into it. So all right, so the next part, you might feel like you're breaking it, and I guess you might break it. I don't know, I haven't broken it, but there's 2 plastic pieces here, and they're held together by just a glue. That's at this point it's pretty easy to pry apart, so just put a little screwdriver in there and work away at it. Oh, there we go. So I'm just twisting here, twisting the screwdriver, getting a little gap, and there, I got the gap opening up. So that's where we want to be, because I should be able to twist this side, get this screwdriver in this side, do a little surgery on her. All right, yeah, you're gonna open up now. Shove it in there. Right, shove it in. What's that? There we go, there we go. All right, where's this now? All right, shove it. No, stand back like this. That's not here. We're done. We're good, we're good. We're good. Put my arms through there. Right, blue. Yeah, it's not. Keep working up. All right. Shoot. All right. So here we have it. All cracked up. I'm not sure I got this on camera. All right. So this little puppy is what has been giving us some troubles, not spinning all the way and opening up our door. So we can actually show this by hooking her back up. Hopefully it's the right way. Yeah, so just hook that cable back up in there. So that's the lock. That's the unlock. And it just spins to move this back and forth, which locks and unlocks the car. But when the electrical connections get dirty, it doesn't get enough power to actually move it all the way. So we take this big guy out of here. It's got this grease on there, but just take it all apart. And now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of this. So let me get my Dremel and be right back. Alright, so we need to pull this apart so we can clean the connection for the brush inside. It's basically just held together by this clip here. Well, it's not really a clip, it's just folded over. The first one I did get a screwdriver and I just pried these out and I was able to pull it apart, but this little bad boy makes quicker work and is less trouble. So instead of cutting my fingers off on camera, I'm going to try something like this. We'll see if we can just grind that thing out of there. Right. Some battery back in here. Grind this a little bit more. I got this attachment. Let's see. Get a good amount of that metal out of there. All right, so we got it open. Just ground that metal back from there. Make sure you don't lose anything out of here. Basically, the way this works is these two metal pieces that have a little curvature to them ride on the inside or on the outside of this, and there's some type of transfer between this copper and those metal pieces that gets interrupted by basically the buildup on this rod. So if we can clean that off and get a better connection, and we'll be back in business. I think this actually, yeah, this can slide out here. give us a little better access. So I've been sanding it off, getting it down to the copper. You see it's just under this layer of darker material. Oh, I'm bleeding. All right. And I guess just over time it gets to this point, being locked and unlocked so many times. I don't know what grit I'm using here, but I'm about to up it to whatever grit this is, 80 grit. I mean, this car is over 10 years old, so I replaced well, I didn't replace, I cleaned off I think the driver's side door was the first to go, and that was about 2 years ago. And since then, this is the last one to go. Okay, we're nice and shiny and clean. Try to get a good focus on that, but basically all that dark buildup I was able to sand off, and then I just wipe it down with a little rag to get any of the dust and stuff off of there. All right, so now we're about to start reassembling. So it's definitely a good idea to take this apart when you're sanding it, because these magnets will they'll collect all that metal dust when you're sanding. So pop right back in there. We get this. Doesn't seem to be a top or the bottom. Doesn't. I'm all off camera. All right. So we just try to get this back in here so these pads are on either side of the part we just cleaned. So looks like maybe this was the side. Oh yeah, so we have a little indent here we gotta match back up with. I'm actually going to pry back this a little bit more. I'm not sure how I got it out with that still poking out, but there was a little bit of that tab left over. All right, we'll line that up. Pop her back in there. There we go. So we have this spiral cog, whatever you want to call it. Get this sucker back on. Okay. Then we have these connectors that hook onto the cable that comes from the car. So we'll make sure that this fits back in here. And as far as holding this together, again, replacing what we ground out, I haven't had a problem. This casing seems to hold it pretty well. You get it in here, and just the way it's constructed, it's not going to be able to separate. So put these back in the way that they were. I think it was like this. No, it must have been yeah, it must have been like this. All right, and we can actually give this a test now that it's not this is quite so dirty. It's going to be quite a bit more powerful. So Sometimes it can kind of want to pop out, but I'm still going to give it a test. All right, so hit the, whoa, see? All right, it's much more powerful now. Obviously, that didn't happen before, so we're working. I'm gonna figure out how this came out of there, but all right, so the next part of the reassembly is connecting these two plates back together. Okay, I got this plastic piece back on there, but the first time I did this, I got some glue or some epoxy, and I glued all along the old glue points, held it, clamped it together, put it back in, and I was back in there within a couple of weeks trying to fix it. So what I've come up with is you might have to sand out some of the old glue if you can't get a good fit, but this looks like it's coming together pretty well. I just run a screw through with a bolt and basically hold it together with that, and it holds it nice and tight, and I haven't had a problem. It's been years on the first one. So where I found it is the best place is right in the middle there. You actually have to screw out this post here, but you can run a screw right through there and it'll hold together really well. So obviously you want to pre-drill, so I'm going to find which size is best, and then get my drill over here and get that on camera. All right, I got a 1/8 bit loaded up here. Got my screw that I plan to use. So I'm just gonna carefully drill through here. There we go. I think my screw should fit. Maybe I might have to up that size. Okay, I'm gonna have to go one drill bit up. Probably best to keep as much plastic shavings out of there, but hey. All right. So now it's that post right there. I'm trying to see if I can see exactly where that is. Maybe it should be right here. Oh, I missed it. Let's see if that'll work. That's not gonna work. You know what I should have done is I should have just drilled through this hole that I already had. All right, let's do that. All right, we got a hole straight through. She fits. All right, I'm gonna clean up the inside of that a bit. All right, so we got it cleaned up. We got our hole. We got a couple of holes in this one. She's hooked together. Run this screw through here. I'd like to tell you what size screw this is, but I don't know. It's a couple of inches maybe. All right, so I got some thread locker on there, and now I'm just going to tighten it down, not too tight. I'm trying to crush this, but also not trying to come back in here. All right, that's pretty tight. All right, so I'm gonna check to make sure that it's still working now it's put together, so prevent me from having to take it out again. I was pressing the trunk button. All right, yep, it's working. It's strong, nice and strong. Got that back on there. Then I'm gonna take this piece. This hole goes in there. Then get this folded back over the side here, like that. And then we got this metal piece to get it lined up with right there. Push that on, and then this metal piece. So it's a lot easier to put back on. So we got it all assembled. All right, she's in. Oh, I ain't not the best filmographer here. All right. So I got her in there. Gotta line this up with the window and get her lined up for the screw holes. All right, she's lined up in there. Get these 3 screws back in. These are all the same. All right. Yeah. Put her back in. Like so. Okay. Get this plastic situated so we can kind of reattach it. Oh, first we gotta screw back in or bolt back in our window thingy. There it is. All right, get it nice and snug. And we got one more here, one up here. She's snug. Now we can put this plastic back. Got a little bit of ripping and tearing, but it'll still get the job done. Push it in, please. Okay. Now we're gonna try to reconnect the locking mechanisms. I did have a clip that fell out too. Oh boy, come here. Ah. All right. Where did you come from? Where did you come from? Where do you go? Don't play dumb with me, clip. All right, I don't know where that clip goes. All right, so we're gonna be all right. We're just gonna leave that alone. Okay, so we have the lock, and this is the door. Okay, so the lock is moving. That. We've got these reconnected here. Okay, so we can, well, yeah, so there's the door moving, and there's the lock moving. And to test it once again, before we get it all screwed together, we're locking and we're unlocking all the way. All right, so we're good to go. This foam piece that fell out, it goes right there. I really don't know what it's supposed to do. I guess it's just supposed to rattle around in there, but I'm gonna put it back and we'll get it all clipped in and screwed back together. I'm gonna get more of a satisfying click than that. So, all right, there we go. All right, so we're all clipped in, and the very last thing to do is put those put the screw back in here and back in here. So I'm gonna do that and we'll be done.